Hi team. I just wanted to go through staff meeting as a recording for anybody that was not able to attend the staff meeting on Tuesday or Wednesday of this week, and go through the slides and give you guys the opportunity to attend staff meeting via video if you needed to. So our staff meeting agenda really follows the agenda that we follow every single month. So the All About You that I asked this week is, what is something that you would like to learn and why? So be thinking about that as you head into 2019 and some of the really fun opportunities that we have. Staff this past week had some really great ideas about learning a new language, learning to cook. I myself am learning to play the guitar in 2019, and new parents that are going to be out there learning how to take care of babies. So be thinking about that for the what would you like to learn and why. So we will go through and do our safety update, our service, people, quality, and strategic growth, as well as sustainability. So a couple of things about culture of safety survey. So a link was sent out January 5th. This takes about 10 minutes to do. Please get this done. Today is actually the last day to do it. I'm going to be sending out the link via an INA text today so that people can complete this. This is a really great opportunity for individuals who would like to give feedback about safety items that they would like to see here in the health system be improved or changes to be made. I take this opportunity every year to give feedback to our executive leadership about things that I think we can improve on to improve staff safety and really improve our culture of safety. Electrode pads, so tele electrodes. So just please remember that if you open up a pack of tele patches, that we put the date on them. These are good for 30 days once they're open, and during safety rounds, we had to discard several of them because they did not have any date on them. So just remember to throw a date on those packs of tele patches. And then during rounds two, there was a little bit of confusion about where our medical gas shutoff was, and so I wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of where our medical gas shutoff is. So it's in hallway D where we do MDI huddle. In the event of an emergency or fire, this is one of our action items, and it's to pull this ring tab right here, and the whole front pops off. And this is really will be a charge nurse or unit coordinator or manager that or me that's doing this. So what we want to do is transfer all of our patients to portable O2 cylinders. Once that's done, the charge nurse or manager will go and pop this off and then shut off our medical gases. And this is really to prevent any explosion in the event of a fire or an emergency. Also wanted to remind everybody that blanket warmers, so the only thing that we should be putting in blanket warmers are blankets. We still have gowns that have metal buttons on them, and those can become so hot in the blanket warmers that it burns patients, and also the ones that have plastic buttons can melt and melt to the skin. So please just make sure that you're only putting blankets or sheets in the blanket warmers. And then black bins, I wanted to remind everybody that the black bin should only contain items from the approved black bin list. So these are medications that are caustic to the environment that need to be incinerated. We found a lot of cardboard and trash in the black bins during safety rounds. And so I want to remind everybody that we just need to be putting the medications in there. When we have to get rid of the black bins, we have to incinerate them, and it's about $80 per bin to incinerate. And so if you think about this across the health system, it can become pretty pricey pretty quickly. Active shooter update. So we had an event a couple of months ago, and I just wanted to go over our active shooter plan to help remind everybody what that is. And so what to do when run, hide, fight is needed, or in our instances, really hide, run, fight. And so for hiding or lockdown or barricading, our safety locations are, I guess, before that, really one of the things that we can do is to pull the fire alarm, and this will engage all of the doors to close that are utilize the magnetic locks. This just creates more barriers for any active shooter to have to go through and gives people more time to barricade or lock down in place. And those hiding rooms are in the epilepsy monitoring room at the south end of the unit and the exam room at the north end of the unit. And just remember that if we're barricading in place, we want to pile equipment, beds, whatever, in front of the door, stay away from the door, hide behind or under desks, silence cell phones and volt phones, turn off all the lights and sit low to the ground, and then don't open the door until a police officer has provided evidence that it's safe to come out. Usually this means sliding an ID or a badge underneath the door to indicate that they are a police officer and it's safe to come out. If we have to evacuate or run from the premises, remember to utilize an escape route that is safe. And so we want to use either the north or the south stairwell, whichever is safest, and then exit either on floor 2 or the ground floor or the basement to move to P5 parking garage. Our designated rendezvous point is the 4th floor of P5 parking garage at the northwest stairwell. And then if an evacuation occurs, it's really vital that everybody gets to that rendezvous point and is accounted for by the unit manager or the unit coordinator. Some safety tips here to make sure to leave all of your belongings. Don't go get purses, wallets, phones, anything like that. Keep your hands visible. If there are people that are injured or wounded as you're evacuating, leave them and then follow all of the instructions of the police. And then last but not least is fight. Remember, don't give up. Active shooters are not expecting people to fight, and this is our last ditch effort. We have a lot of things. Grab scissors, needles, pill crushers, fire extinguishers, coffee pots, anything. Swarm the shooter in a group and just start pummeling the hell out of that person. So we're going to continue to visit this just because I want this to be a something that is second nature for us, so that people don't lock up and that people are able to stay safe should we have an event like this. All right, guys, service. So our patient satisfaction is looking phenomenal. Our fiscal year to date mean ranking is 92.1%. Actually, this past week it came out, it's up to 93%, keeping us in the 99th percentile. And then I just wanted to remind everybody that we do have the 3 Wishes program out there for patients and family who are going to be here for a long time or need some extra TLC. It's a really great way to give them that TLC, and it's little things like they need a birthday cake or they need a harpist to come up and play music, a glass of wine, a 6-pack of beer. I mean, all of those things are little things that we can do. And then I also wanted to talk about our no diversion that's happening citywide here. So the Mid-America Regional Council, which is the group that oversees our ambulance and EMS routing, really made a citywide decision that we are going to become a no diversion city. This means that we can't close to ambulances. We can continue to close to time-critical diagnosis. However, that's going to be really limited because there are stipulations in place, like all of our CT scanners have to go down, or all of our trauma surgeons are in surgery. So, and then out of service facility as well, which would really have to do with a power outage. So what's really important about this is that we're really going to need to collaborate with the ED to pull our patients up from the ED. That means really adhering to our standard work that we've been doing observations on and training on. And that will also mean actually physically going down to the emergency department to pull patients from the ED. What I've included here is our is our safety plan with patient placement to make sure that we stay off of, that we keep the ED decompressed. So included here are the different action items that patient placement will go through that they will do in proactive planning to make sure that we are continuing to move our patients through appropriately, safely, and that if we do have to open up alternate care sites, that we've got a plan for that, and that all of this is happening in correlation with our RMC and our unit coordinators to make sure that we've got staffing plan for all of this. So you can see that this is broken down by different time elements throughout the day on both days and nights, and really promotes proactivity to working with the unit coordinators and the RMC as well. Take a few minutes to read through this and look through this and these action items. This slide deck is on the unit website. So if you guys, the link that got texted out to everybody is our unit website with our unit updates, and the slide deck is here so that you can go through that if you need to outside of this recording. All right, guys, excellent award nomination. So the 2019 award season has started. This is a really exciting time. Please take some time to sit down and nominate your colleagues for the excellent work that they do. I think that the more nominations we can get, the better, simply because this is a phenomenal opportunity for our employees to get that recognition for the hard work that they do every day. So I tell everybody a really good nomination takes about 45 minutes to write, and I encourage people to think about that really great team member interaction or patient interaction that that person has had, and include that, write up that exemplar, because that's really what the nominating committee is looking for, is that really phenomenal patient interaction that really puts people above and beyond. This goes a long way with our team members, you guys. Even if people don't win an award, they get a certificate with their nomination form and the write-up of their nomination. And it's just a really awesome recognition that you recognize your team members for the hard work that they do every day. We have new graduate season starting as well. So there are going to be several new grads that are coming into shadow. Several of them have already shadowed with night shift. I am putting a note in Smart Square and including emails for the night shift employees that are going to be shadowing. And then as we're doing interviews and shadows, we're going to be making offers to these CNEs. We are also going to be sending out the schedule for interviews ahead of time so that people who would like to do group interviews can come in and do those group interviews as well, and that we can get offers out right away. We are in our magnet cycle, you guys. So we're about a year out from from some of those important magnet dates. And so Magnet Champion meetings have kicked back up. Abby Carson is stepping up to be our Magnet Champion for CA6. And she's going to be helping. She's going to be going to Magnet Champion meetings and coming back and helping us do some really fun activities to prepare for Magnet and get ready for that Magnet visit. That'll be coming up before we know it. And then just a reminder, you guys, that there are volunteer opportunities almost every week. As part of our 20-year anniversary, we are really blowing it out of the water with volunteerism. If you're looking for hours for in-lab or for school, please keep an eye on 24/7 or email Gigi Sears if you have questions about volunteering. Here is our quality update. So we are 852 days since our last CAUTI, 583 days since our last CLABSI, 17 days since our last HAPI, and 44 days since our last hospital-acquired C. diff. And then our fall rates are included down there. So we are seeing a great trend down, you guys, in our falls. you guys can see here that we have had a really good overall decrease. Several months, 2 months here with 0 falls, really long stretches, and then several months with only 1 fall. If you guys look over here, since July of 17 at our green graph, our falls have just really decreased all the way around on a really great downward trend. This is awesome work. I recognize all of the really hard work that everybody is doing to help keep patients from falling. A lot of very creative work out there. So really phenomenal work in the quality area, you guys. If you guys have ideas about how we can continue to reduce falls, please let me know. And then strategic growth. So just a reminder that our blood product administration workflow changes go live the 31st. Megan has sent out several emails and flyers about this. So there is some important things that's happening here. So the blood transfusion group from the IV management flow sheet will go away. And there is modified assessment documentation that is going to be added in your blood administration flow sheets. And then there is some really great changes that are happening with TACO or suspected TACO or trolley. So for those transfusion reactions, there's going to be flow sheet row information that's created. And so there won't be any need anymore to print that note and print and fax it to the blood bank. There will be an automatic note that we can generate when there's a suspected transfusion reaction that will be captured within the patient problem list and will go right to the pathologist in blood bank to review. There is a full PowerPoint that is listed on the housed on the on the share drive that has all of this with screenshots. And then again, Megan has sent this out in a flyer through unit-wide email. So we will also be out and about with these go live changes. I know it's really hit or miss with us for blood transfusion. There are some weeks where we transfuse 3 or 4 people, and there's some weeks where we don't transfuse anybody. So, and then all things telemetry. So as part of our continued effort to reduce our alarm fatigue, just a reminder, you guys, to start evaluating each day if your patient needs to continue to be on telemetry. So for a lot of our, we have a lot of patients that have had no arrhythmias, no changes in heart rhythm, and are still on a telepack. And so this is a good opportunity to ask the physician if they need to continue to be on tele. Anytime we can get that telepack off, it helps to reduce the amount of equipment that our patients have on them. It helps reduce alarm fatigue, helps patients get up when they have less equipment on them. And I think it's just overall a great thing. And then CMU will continue to admit our patients to tele. However, the process is going to change a little bit. So we will continue to follow the steps that we've been following. We will be getting the telepack and letting CMU know the patient's name and CSN number, but then CMU will not actually admit the patient to tele until there is a visible rhythm on the monitor. So once they see that visible rhythm on the monitor, that's when they'll initiate that admission to the Philips monitor. And this is really to reduce accidentally taking away any monitoring from any other units that the patient might be on. And then power of the preceptor, nurse preceptor training. So just a reminder that every nurse who does precepting needs to enroll themselves in the nurse preceptor training class. You can do this by enrolling through TLC. And if you search Power of the Preceptor, it will come up. Once you're enrolled, it will automatically enroll you in your additional Power of the Preceptor modules. This works very much like our Big 4 bootcamp training in that you have to complete those modules before you can go to skills checkoff. And please let Megan know the date and the time that you've signed up for training so she can help monitor that those modules are completed. And then just a reminder for RQI, so if you are enrolled in RQI currently, the due date is March 31st. If you have any modules that are past due on April 21st, those will go into the 10-10 rule. So remember that you can go overdue on modules, however, they continue to pile up, and at a certain date, the 10-10 rule does kick into effect. So if you've got any modules that are outstanding, please get down to the 5th floor or to the bridge to the mannequin to get those skills checkoff completed so that you don't end up on the 10-10 list on 421. If for some reason anybody is on the 10-10 list, what we'll have you do is you'll have to go to an RQI station and complete all of those modules before you can take patients for that shift. And then sustainability, so contingency order usage. So a big piece of this throughput, guys, and really helping to continue to move our patients through the care progression, especially with this no diversion, is going to be utilizing our discharge contingency orders. So we are doing widespread education with our physicians on this. So this allows the physician to complete their discharge orders, and they can put in the discharge patient now orders and discharge, and however they can put in contingencies. So once their discharge orders are complete, they can put in discharge order contingencies. What this allows us to do is to see that the physicians do not want a patient discharged until certain contingencies are met. So, for example, for our stroke patients, they may be ready to discharge to a facility or to home after Lovenox teaching is done and after a CT scan is done. You will see these contingency orders on your Cardex. Once those contingencies are met, you'll complete the discharge patient contingent orders on the Cardex and notify the RN that those contingencies are met, and the discharge orders will drop, and then we'll be able to go ahead and print the AVS and move through in discharging the patient. If you're trying to print your AVS and you're not able to, you will see this red exclamation point that you have contingencies, and that's where we need to step back and look to see. This will really help with that throughput process because our physicians are truly able to really get all of the discharge orders completed and sitting in a place where all we're waiting for is those contingencies to be met. And once they're met, we can move through the rest of the discharge. This will prevent having to have surgeons come out of the OR to come back up or wait until the very end of the day to discharge patients, or for there to be several phone calls back and forth, checking off boxes, and then going and sitting down and doing discharge orders. So we'll continue to work with everybody on this. Dr. Powell and Dr. Jones are doing one-on-one education with all of our neuro, ENT, epilepsy, and stroke physicians, and so we are going to be seeing more of this. And then EVS room turnover. So this is a reminder. So our EVS team is really working on staffing up, and they're doing a great job. But just a reminder out there that if we have to escalate cleans or the priority of room cleans, we really need to be doing that through patient placement, logging it through O2 and through patient placement. So we're running into issues where when we have several rooms to be cleaned, we're going to housekeepers and asking them to go clean individual rooms or telling them that a room is a stat clean. And it's creating a domino effect of there being a huge backlog of rooms because the EVS workers are feeling pulled in a ton of different directions. So just a reminder here, you guys, to if we have to escalate cleans to stat cleans because of throughput or because of urgent patient needs, we need to make sure that we're logging that through O2 or calling down to patient placement so that they can be the source of truth through our support services. Again, EVS is really working on staffing up and doing a great job, but they want to make sure that they're getting that consistent message. All right, guys, this is all I had for staff meeting this week. I really appreciate everybody taking a couple of minutes to walk through this. I hope that everybody has stayed safe through the cold weather and the ice storm. I can't wait until warmer weather, even though that means it'll, most likely be tornado season. But we'll deal with that when it comes. Everybody have a phenomenal weekend, and please keep yourself safe.